Hi, everybody. It's Monday. Welcome to What You Need to Know on this Monday. Monday means Huggy Lowdown. Hi, Hug.
What's happening? I'm representing me and Chris, I guess. Chris. Yeah, Chris had car troubles. He was taking his daughter up to college. Look at a college, and his car broke down, and the dog shit in the car. And these are not jokes. And these are not jokes.
ate the daughter's homework, all of
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Her
Yeah,
application and stuff.
right.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like
well,
real,
we're glad.
real lampoonish shit going on.
DMV Lampoon, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, it's Monday, so our social activist, Coy Malone, is here. Hello, Coy.
What's
Hey,
up, Corey?
Sybil. Hey, Huggy. How are y'all
What's
doing
happening?
today?
How you doing?
Doing wonderful.
Today is a special day for Coy. She has an interview here, and this involves the case of excuse me, an 11-minute video as a part of an ongoing lawsuit in racial profiling, and this is having to do with a young man who is a music producer, and he was taking his trash out while black. And, and he was picked up by the LAPD and on another case of someone who lives in an adjoining apartment. And so, Coy, why don't you pick up on the story and tell us, and then we can bring in your guest.
Yeah, so we have a case of the producer Antone Austin, who's also known as Tone Stacks, out of Los Angeles, who was taking out his trash. Now, his neighbor had an altercation with her ex-boyfriend, called the police. The police show up at this location and they arrest him instead, not even having a full understanding of who they were there to arrest. And it's even made prevalent in the police dash cam video of the officers when they're arriving saying, who are we arresting? And one of the officers responds, I don't know. And so they arrest this man, and he is, asking him what's going on. He's doing, his best to de-escalate the situation. The neighbor even shows up and says, you have the wrong person. But they continue to arrest this man. And he ended up going to jail. He paid a total of $57,000 in bail. He
What?
was, charged with resisting arrest and assault on a police officer. The assault charge was eventually dropped. And so now they're looking to actually bring up charges, which is actually being denied because the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office is arguing that this arrest was his fault. But how? When he was taking out the trash in front of his own house.
Obviously, a case that is ongoing, but we do have Tone and his Tone Stacks and his lawyer on with us this evening. So let's bring them up and say hello.
Hey, listen up. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
You're a little low, but yes, we can.
Okay. Can you hear me better if I scoot up a little closer to the mic?
That's
Yes,
great.
better.
You understand how this thing works with audio, don't you?
Of course. I just can't hear yours.
We can put his audio and video on.
And sir, Mr. Hill, can you put your video on? We can not see you.
Hey, Fassel.
Okay. We're going to take him out, and whenever he is ready, we'll bring him back in.
Okay. Okay, I thought suddenly Huggy was going in place of the lawyer. Okay, Tone, excuse me, we have you and your girlfriend, Michelle, here with us. So thank you for joining us. And we also have the video. So Coy, you tell me, how do you want to do this? You want to show the video and then we'll come to questions?
Yeah, let's show the video.
All right.
Roger. Is it this dude? Probably. So if you're an LPR, 2 minutes here. Turn around for me. What? Turn around. What? Turn around. Why? Turn around because I told you to. Turn around. What are you doing, bro? I live here. All right, we got a call. We got it. Okay, man. I don't know who I'm looking for yet. Come on, step. Turn around, man. What is your problem, dude? Turn around, dude.
You don't have no reason to do this to me.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing? What is your problem? Get up against the wall.
Look what you're doing to me.
Jeez.
Hey, Michelle!
Jeez, dude. What are you doing?
Michelle!
Stop.
Hey, yo, Michelle!
Jeez.
Yo, you're looking for the people upstairs, bro.
I don't know. Relax.
Answer me, dog. You can answer me.
I'm
Yo, you
not.
got your hands on me for no reason, bro.
Jesus.
Hey,
It's like.
hey,
Get away. Get away. Take him down. All right.
Hard to watch.
That is one of the most difficult things that we've had to watch recently, Tone, and I can only imagine you and Michelle watching this. I don't know how many times you may have seen this, but it's certainly the worst part of it is living it over and over and over again. And this took place almost 2 years ago, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's almost 2 years ago.
And so is and I don't know how much you can tell us because we're having difficulty in getting in touch with your lawyer because
He called him.
okay, so our producer is asking, is there any way you guys can call him and explain because we don't have a number for him. All we had was your information. Okay. All right. Michelle, can you talk about this a little bit about from your perspective because they were looking for they said they didn't know who they were looking for, and they assumed that he was a black man. But in fact, the domestic suspect, a violent suspect, was a white man, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so and you all ended up being arrested.
Right.
Yeah. They came. The neighbor, I guess, called 911 on a guy and said that he was at a restaurant, which is 3 blocks away from my house, by the name of Fat Sal's. When we finally got the 911 call, we heard what actually happened. She called and reported that it was a restraining order violation, and that the guy was at Fat Sal's, was like 3 blocks away from my home. Mm-hmm. She was a guest of my upstairs neighbor, which is a totally different guy. Okay. And she happened to be standing like within my back fence because I live up downstairs, they live upstairs. You know, it's Hollywood. It's like a little private, little gated area. Sure. And I came outside to go get my trash can and bring her back up to the street. You know, it's Friday. This day we normally do this, take it out Thursday, whatever. When the police pulled up, I didn't know what was happening because they turned their lights off. They turned their sirens off as they arrived, and they made a U-turn in the street. Then the dude jumped out the car before the car was even done parking. The guy jumped out the car and just started coming at me with the turnaround. And I don't know what's happening. I'm like, what's up? What you need? I'm right. It's for me. It's like I make music, so I'm up all night. I got late hours, vampire hours. So anyway, yeah, when he says this to me, and then it sets off red flags in my mind as he's telling me to turn around, and even more so when I ask him, what's going on, and he tell me he don't know. He got a call. I don't know who I'm here for. I just got a call. You know what I mean? That's even more like, wait, what are you doing? Right. Now you got me in this armhole, and I see you got cuffs out, and I'm like, man, what is this? Like, you ain't even asked me what my name is. You don't know who I am. You don't know anything. And then they try to, push me up against the garage. Then that's when I started yelling for help. I only wanted to make sure that people would be aware of what's going on so somebody could see this. So it's not my word against theirs. So it's not one of them situations where I just end up with them throwing away the key and hiding me in the bottom of in the belly of the beast. And that, you know, I wanted to make sure that people around saw what was going on.
Sure.
So I was calling for help. She came out. She was in the shower. She came out the house. And when she arrived, the officer pushed her in her chest and she fell down. That's why you saw her robe off. She fell into the street and her robe actually came off. And then she got up to put it back on and then came back to them and was like, you know, what are y'all doing? Why are you doing this type of deal? You know, the other girl that actually called the police, she was outside telling them like, this is not the guy. You know, they didn't want to hear nothing. One of them's objective was simply to put me on my face. That was it. I had one cop saying, you know, relax, relax, stop, relax, relax. The other guy is like ninja kicking me in the back of the leg, putting his arm around my throat, trying to do whatever he can to get me on the ground. We got like 12 different actual angles of this thing happening. Because one of my other neighbors called the police on the police. Wow. You know what I mean? Because she said when she was in her house, she heard me saying help, but she didn't realize it was actually police officers outside because they never said anything. They just showed up and started doing their thing, you know, so she didn't even know it was the police. She called the police on the police. Yeah. So then we ended up with like so many different, you know, groups of police officers there, so many different squads of like actual cops showing up, the helicopters. The dude pulls up, one of them gets out the car and starts running at us full speed and tackles us right on the ground. Boom. You know, his body cam fell off at the car. He didn't care. He tackled us right in the street. Boom. They got, you know, 12. They got me in a dog pile. You know, they pulling my arms every which way, telling me to stop resisting while they pulling my arm this way, making it look like I'm doing it. So it was just a whole lot going on. And then when they initially put me in the back of a squad car, you know, they had her hemmed up against the gate. I remember that was the last time I saw her. They had her hemmed up against the gate. You know, they put me in the back of the police car, and the guy is, you know, asking me what's going on, what happened, and I'm telling them I don't know what happened. You know, I was messing with my trash cans one minute, the next minute your officers in my face with their hands on me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, I'm legit. Everything I do is legit. I run a music business out here. I got 2 studios. I don't have nothing to, you know, nothing to do with the street. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like at the end of the day, he told me that they were taking me down to see a watch commander who was going to look at, review the footage, and that we most likely would be cut loose. But then another guy comes back and says that I'm being arrested for assault on a police officer.
Wow. And
tells me that I'm going for felony assault on a police officer. And then they take me downtown. And then that's where I met up with her again, downtown. Not downtown, to the Hollywood station. Took us to the Hollywood station. Well, we're in the Hollywood station. They got some watch commander. You know, there's so much to the story that nobody's even been able to see or hear yet. But they got us talking to this watch commander. This guy is like, you know, do you know why you're here? And I'm like, no, I don't know what I'm here for. You know, I don't know why I'm here. He's like, do you know what you're here for? And I said, no, I don't know why I'm here, man. Honestly, he said, man, it's not an admission of guilt. Just say that you know why you're here. I said, I don't know why I'm here. So then they had me in handcuffs and I'm bleeding, you know, scraped up and all that. And they put me in, he says, put him in the holding cell. And they throw me in a holding cell with these handcuffs on, you know, and they leave me in this holding cell with these handcuffs on. Then they have her outside on a bench in handcuffs. And then
you're still in a robe. And all of this stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And they got me in these handcuffs in this holding cell. And then I hear them like watching the footage of what happened. They're like watching some of the camera footage. We can hear them because this station in Hollywood is tiny, you know, and you can see the watch.
I don't want to tell you how I know how tiny it is, but I've been there.
But you know, okay. So, you know, so you can see everything. So I stood up to look out the door and the dude come telling me if I don't sit down, he gonna chain me to the bench. You know what I mean? I'm already behind a glass door with a window that was put there for people to look out of, you know what I'm saying? So, but they were laughing at this footage, and then she started yelling at the police, like, y'all think that's funny, whatever, doing her thing.
And then I got chained to the bench.
Yeah, then the dude come by with a paper cup and tries to feed us water.
In a private room.
Right. It's like, it's weird. So then the dude comes by with a cup of water and tries to pour water in my mouth. And I'm like, nah, they tried to do it to her. And I'm like, you know, this hours later, I haven't had a phone call. I haven't had an opportunity to even be told exactly what's happening. Some guy comes in that's with internal affairs or something and says to me, man, these charges probably won't stick, but why didn't you just go with it? Why didn't you just get on the ground? I said, is that what you tell rape victims to do? Just go with it? You just tell people to just get on the ground. Like,
thank you.
And he was like, no, but I'm just saying, man, sometimes, you know, you got to think about it. He said, these charges, like I said, probably won't go nowhere, but you got to think about it this way. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't think about it that way. Like, it's not who I am as an individual. I'm not just gonna lay on the ground because you told me to lay on the ground. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so then like hours later, you know, they go through shift change and then they transport us downtown. to the metro station for whatever reason. Then they put me in this, I'm talking to the cops in this car, and they're like explaining to me that, I'm a different dude than they thought I was going to be, because according to them, I'm in there for assault on a police officer. So, they're being passive aggressive with this retaliation now. So the new cops coming on the shift don't understand what happened. They just are reading your paperwork, and that's what it says. So now they put me in a filthy holding cell with Doritos, chips bags everywhere, old food, sandwiches, all that. You know what I'm saying? And they don't give me, I finally get a chance to use the phone, the little phone that's chained to the wall. I'm trying to call finally so I can bond out. I'm rather ready to bail out. I need to get up out of here. So I call to bond out. I see her across the hallway in another holding cell full of girls through this little window. They wait and they send me I'm telling them I'm bonding out. They send me all the way up here to this cell in this unit, you know what I'm saying? Put me on this little cot, lock me in this room, dude banging on the door all night, boom, boom, boom. 3:00 in the morning, they tell me, Austin, pack up your stuff. You know what I mean? I guess my bell finally went through at 3:00 in the morning. And then I'll go walking out and they say, she just left. Michelle just left. If you hurry up, you might be able to catch her. So in my mind, last time I saw her, she was wearing a robe.
Right.
So I go running through downtown, like, saying her name, because I don't know where she's at. I don't know what's happening. When I say they arrested me at my house, taking out the trash, I was wearing pajamas, like, sweatpants. I never wear a t-shirt. You seen the video. I wasn't going anywhere. I had I have a corner store next to my house that sometimes I, walk, grab something to drink. So I had like $30 in my pocket, cash money. That was it. I had no cell phone, no nothing. When they released me, they took my shoestrings, took my drawstring, all that kind of stuff. I had $30 cash they gave me back. A dude heard me yelling her name and was like, "Do you need some help?" And I looked and he had an Uber sticker on his window. I was like, man, I said, look, man, I said, I don't have my phone with me. I was like, but I got to get back to Hollywood. I said, all I got is $30 on me. You can have it all. I don't care. I just need to get back to my car, get back to my stuff. You know what I mean? So I can go back in the car and, see where she at. He take me back. Luckily, God was working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This dude drive me back to Hollywood. Of course he took it all. You know what I'm saying? It was, but you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? But
it was worth it.
I offered, but you know what I'm saying? But he took me back. You know what I mean? I got in the car. I drove right back down to find her. Left her phone at the house because she didn't have her phone either. And right as I'm getting downtown, getting off the exit, you know what I'm saying? She called me and told me she was the bondsman and he just brought her home. You know what I mean? And we go to court, and it was terrible, man. They just decide that they're gonna give us Fassel, my lawyer, luckily went in for me. He told me wait in the hallway. I had some friends in some pretty decent places making movies and whatnot that were able to plug me with the right kind of people. He went and represented me the first day, and then he came walking out telling me that the case had been sent to the city. It was no longer a felony. Now it was a misdemeanor. She got arrested for felony lynching.
Lynching?
Yeah,
what?
Lynching, exactly.
Right.
Craziness. Some about trying to free somebody from police custody. It's called lynching.
It's
called lynching. Wow.
Right. So they put us in the city court, and then after they decided we would be in the city court, the case just kind of vanished. We're out on bond. We perform in Vegas. I'm calling, so I can go back and forth. And the bondsman tells me he can't find my case in the court any longer, that he doesn't see it anymore. So as far as he's concerned, I'm no longer on bond. So at this point, we've sued the city, but we have no idea what's going on with the case. Like if we still have charges, there's been no resolution to the situation, no paperwork that says case dismissed. We're dropping the charges. Nothing has been given to me. So now, 3 years from now, you're driving. They pull you over and tell you got a warrant from back when, and you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? So they're playing games with us. So this is where we are right now. I think I've remembered everything.
Wow, that's an
incredible story.
When Coy did the story, Huggy, it was unbelievable because this was 2 years ago, like we said, and we were getting up to speed on the case. But just to think that either one of you could be driving, and especially as a Black man driving through town and get stopped for a traffic signal or whatever, and you get picked up, and is the lawyer with us? Okay. All right.
Yeah, so and it's even worse because you think about the fact that, like I said, I had resources. I was able to get myself kind of out of that situation, but for a lot of our people, that don't happen. Like you get arrested and you get forgotten behind the wall, and they talk you in a plea bargain. Yeah, you get caught talking a plea bargain to something that you never did, and now you got parole, probation, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And they having their way with you, and now you paying these people for something that you never did in the first place. Right.
So let me ask you, and Coy, you can jump in here. I just want to ask Mr. Gill, where are you now? As Anton says, you know, he could just be anywhere and get picked up. Where do you see this case as it is right now? And you can't hear me.
Faster, can you hear?
Okay, so maybe we can. Hopefully, we'll get this straight. Coy, go ahead.
So my question is, how was it that the city attorney's office argued that this was your fault? This is what I'm trying to understand, and I want everybody else watching and everybody that has read the story to try to understand this part, because this is the part that really confused me.
I'm confused too. Like, you know, I mean, you seen that. Like I said, I got a 911 call. I got like 13 different police officers' body cam footage that show everything that happened, start to finish. Shows police talking to each other on the set, and one of them says, "Oh no, wait, I'm still on." Points to his body cam before his partner can talk and tell him. He tried to warn him, like, you know, I'm still on. Dude says, "Oh, that's okay. I got what happened," and I'm like, this is a sergeant telling somebody that, you know, wait a minute, I'm still on, as though he's supposed to wait and watch what he says. When they had them filling out their police report, they're sitting side by side in this little room, you know, and one of them walks up and says to him, "You're not going to put that in your report, are you?" You know, like I said, the Hollywood station's small. You can see and hear everything. It's just a hallway, you know. So it was really, you know, it's really challenging not to be upset, you know, in this situation, because you're seeing so many different things happen that if, you know, I was to do or you was to do, you know what I'm saying, somebody would have to fit, we go to jail, somebody would have to pay. You know, and it's like, for us, it's like, it doesn't matter, you know, it's just like, whatever, you know, and it's you know, it's like, even with the lawsuit, it's like, you know, they talking about numbers, and I'm like, you know, these guys have a $3 or $4 billion budget, you know, and they want to tell you, oh, you know, sue them for a couple $1 million and you got paid, be happy. That's not going to cause anything to change. It's just like, they don't feel that. I feel like, you know, the only way to really make them feel that type of change is to really hit them where it's really going to hurt, when they got to start laying people off, or when they can't get that shiny upgrade, when they can't start doing some of the things that they want to do. That's when they'll start registering in their minds, like, you know, there's actual consequences, or when they relieve some of their protection. Because, you know, right now, you can't even sue that officer for what he did to you. You have to go against the city of LA. And I love LA. You know what I'm saying? I've been here for a great portion of my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now it's you versus LA. And now, you know, that in itself don't sound right. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, but sometimes, and can you hear us, sir, Mr. Gill?
Yes, I can. Sorry about that. I was just having some technical difficulties. I think hopefully it's all resolved now.
No, we can hear you now.
Good.
And we were just asking, in terms of this process, how do you see this going? Because if they're kind of in limbo, do you see this being resolved in any way? Or are you getting a sense of resolution, or do you see yourself going to court?
For the civil case, you know, I don't know. I think we'll probably end up going to court. Now, we do have mediation coming up in May to see if we can try to resolve this thing. But again, you know, as Tone was saying, we're not going to just take, you know, a few dollars and be done with it. And it's not about the money. It's right. And Tone said this in the very beginning when they were first arresting him. Hey, man, just let me go and I'll forget the whole thing. The issue is they made him wait for 2 years and do all this stuff and go through, file a lawsuit. You know, at that point, the city needs to basically pay. And they need to basically pay for what their mistakes they did. Right. So we're not going to settle for just, you know, a few dollars. We're going to go for a decent amount. You know,
and make a statement. And
make a
statement.
Right. Well, and the two things go hand in hand. The amount is what makes the statement, because that way the city of LA, you know, feels like, you know, the budget powers, everybody goes, oh my God, you know, we can't be giving out these money things. So the police officers who basically think it's okay to do this, or LAPD who thinks it's okay to do this, once they're hitting their budget, now they won't. But the sad part is, the whatever settlement we get will not come from the police budget. It comes from the general fund. So from you and me. Yeah. It should be coming from the police budget.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust and believe. We understand that. And I want to ask you guys, if gentlemen and lady, if you all will come back and give us an update on this case as it goes. I just want to ask you one last thing, Tony, as you are looking at May of 2019, in May of 2020, a Black man held on the ground in Minneapolis and died and was killed as a result of this. What goes through your mind as you're watching this? As the rest of us are watching, it's one thing, but to have a man who has gone through something similar to this, what's going on in your head as you're watching this a year ago?
As I'm watching which thing go, the video that you just showed me, or George Floyd?
The George Floyd situation a year later.
It's insane, and I feel like it's disheartening because just like a lot of my friends tell me, they're not shocked. It's nothing new. This happens all the time. You know what I mean? So this got nationwide attention that did happen to him. It's a feeling you can't really describe. After you've been through that type of stuff so many times, and to see somebody actually died from something like that, you know what I mean? Finally, not finally, but now they're talking about the fact that somebody died. Because this ain't the first person to die from this either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it just lets you know how unsafe you really are out here. Just to I know you gotta do something else, but it's like these guys are running around here with guns and bulletproof vests and tasers and partners and radios and equipment in their cars, GPS location, all these things. And every day we out here by ourselves, set of keys, and the cell phone, going to work, going home, doing your thing, and trying to be safe.
And in this case, you didn't even have that.
Right. And you're dealing with people, and you're dealing with these guys that feel like they're so scared of society that they're running around armed in the same neighborhoods that we love and call home. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a lot to think about,
Yeah. Huggy, would you like to jump in here?
No, my issue was when on the video when they pulled up, they said, "Is that him?" They said properly.
Yeah, and then the other, that's one. And then the other dude, you should have heard his partner's camera. His partner's camera say, after the dude get out the car after saying probably, the other guy says to himself, "Yeah, that's him," out loud. Yeah, that's him. And they ain't even got a description or nothing. They say clear to when they talking to the girl. They say to the girl,
the wrong color at the right time.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Okay. Michelle, let me ask you: are you guys in therapy? Are you getting counseling? Because that seems to be a type of trauma that one doesn't easily walk away from.
Well, we're technically not in therapy, but I mean, we do a lot of meditation and a lot of yoga, and I mean, I think everyone, all over the world needs healing, so, whether it's from this particular incident or not, like, I think we're all on a healing journey, of course.
Yeah, so. I agree with that.
Because, because like the dude that said to me, like, why aren't you flinching and acting all, if I was you, I'd be doing all this crazy stuff to act like I'm, it's like traumatized. I said, what should speak louder is the fact that we don't, the fact that I don't, the fact that this is not new to me. Like, this is the first time I can see myself walking around shell shocked. Right. But we've seen this happen to our friends and family before. We've seen this happen to us before. Yeah, we've been desensitized to this,
especially in Los Angeles.
Yeah, absolutely. Detroit, Los Angeles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Chicago.
It speaks volumes,
Atlanta.
Man. It's tough. Yeah.
And the fact that you remember that verbatim, like 2 years, and to go through that like it was yesterday, because that's how you feel, like it was yesterday. Man, well, my heart goes out to you.
I think Huggy speaks for all of us in that respect, ladies and gentlemen. We really do. I mean, the story as Coy brought it to us for the What You Need to Know newsletter was impactful enough. You know what I mean? It kind of hit us in our hearts and in our guts. But now speaking to you all and having you here, it's taken it to another level. And we want to stay in touch with you guys. And please let us know as things progress. And the last thing, Mr. Gill, I want to ask you, as citizens of the world, and we're watching this, is there anything we can do? And I mean specifically for this case, not because we always talk about what you're supposed to do when police accost you, but as people who are now concerned and feel connected to this young couple, is there anything we can do?
Yeah, anybody who's living in Los Angeles should reach out to their city councilman, because ultimately it's the city that approves this settlement. So the city council has the ability to resolve this case. And I think it'll send a very loud message to the city council. Says, you know what? Our police department messed up. We step up, we take responsibility, and we should basically, compensate them accordingly.
Gotcha. Okay. I thank you all so much for reliving this and for, telling your truth and coming on today. We really appreciate it. I think that this is not the last that we're going to hear from you guys. And Tone, how can we follow you as far as your music is concerned?
It's Tone Stacks everywhere. At Tone Stacks, TONESTACKZ. Stacks with a Z, like stack it up. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You can find me everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate y'all having this.
You about to stack it up, bro.
See, man, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely keep our fingers crossed, see what happens. But I appreciate y'all for having us. You know what I'm saying? And we'll keep you updated. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so
very
much. And the best of luck to you. And I'm glad you were persistent there, Mr. Gill. And
yeah, that's the man. That's the future city attorney of Los Angeles right there.
That let you know you got a good attorney because he stayed with that call. He stayed with it.
You want a persistent attorney like that.
There you go. Will do. Thank you.
And
Thank you so
Coy,
much.
Coy, is your story. Any last words you want to leave with your guests?
I just want to thank you all again for joining us. I know that was probably very difficult to actually relive those moments and to just see that video again. But I'm glad you all, made it through. Unfortunately, you had to go through that, but I'm glad that you all are here today to tell the story. Definitely keep us posted on what we can do. Give us updates on your upcoming mediation trial, if so. And I'm really hoping that you all receive the justice that you deserve in this situation, because that was very most unfortunate.
Thank you very much. Thank you for doing the story.
Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, Tone. Thank you, Attorney.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
You.
All right, see you later.
All right, brother.
Take care. Whew.
Whoa,
that's
a tough story. Tough.
Yeah, that is a tough story.
Just to hear more of the details that were not reported in the local news outlets and the national news outlets. Hearing that the police officers consorted with one another.
Step by step, as he's telling that story.
It's so crazy for them to roll up on somebody and just say, "Hey, relax. I'm putting some handcuffs on you."
I can't.
What the hell? Okay. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what's going on. You need to relax.
Yeah,
I'm putting handcuffs on you.
Right.
And I can feel the brother playing when he was saying, "Help, help, help." Because he wanted attention. He wanted a crowd around. Like, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything can happen.
And this is before George Floyd. This is a year before George Floyd. Think about that and how things have happened since then.
Wow.
But certainly, and that's not to say that these things weren't taking place. I mean, we see, Rodney King 30 years ago and things like that. But still, so much has happened in terms of how we know how to react and put our cameras on people and things like that in the wake of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd and what have you. So and of course, it's just mind-boggling. But Coy, I'm going to keep you on the social justice tip, and we're going to talk about your story in the what you need to know, because this is another instance. And I got to tell you guys, we do 2 segments on our newsletter that really bring a lot of trauma to the lives of people and in telling the stories. The first is the coronavirus updates that we've been doing for the last year every day. And secondly is bringing Coy on and talking about these social justice stories. And none of them end usually in a happy manner, not within the course of that story as it's told in the newsletter. It's traumatic, and these young women that do this, and you can speak to this better than I, because I just worry about the effect that it has on you. It's having an effect on you, and you can't help but think about it. So I commend you for being steadfast and true to the cause and in telling the story. But this is a situation that happened in an Atlanta suburb, and once again, we're talking about people with mental health challenges.
Yes, unfortunate situation that happened out in DeKalb County in the city of Decatur. A young man by the name of Matthew Williams, who was 35 years old, was at his home. His family believes he was dealing with a plumbing issue outside. A neighbor called and said that they had a prowler at a vacant home. And so the police show up and they see this man here, this man Williams, in the home, and he has a pocket knife. I guess that he was using this for the plumbing issue. He lunges at the police, so the police shoot at him, and he runs into the trees that are surrounding the home. Eventually, he makes his way back into the house, and there's a long verbal exchange conversation between the officers and this young man, pleading with him to put the knife down. He's telling them that he's defending his property. They kick the door down. They continue to have this conversation. He ends up lunging at them again. They shoot and kill this man in his home. His family was not notified until a day later, and they believe that he was having a mental health crisis. So when this is addressed by the chief of police, she does state that they did eventually, confirm that, yes, this man lived at this home. We don't know the condition of it, if it was new or what have you. Was he moving out? We don't know. It is confirmed that he was living there. And she did also confirm, Chief Mirtha Ramos stated that, they do have mental health resources available, but she didn't know if it would be fitting for the situation. And so my question is, when we see a lot of these situations go on, like for instance, last week in Texas, there was a 40-year-old man that had a standoff with multiple law enforcement agencies, and it was hours long, and they were able to arrest this man without incident.
And
when
guess
did
what?
we? Yeah. When did we?
Guess what?
And yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he was.
Yeah.
And so we see incidents like this, or one that happened last week in Minnesota, where a man actually accosted the police. He drove off while one officer was hanging from the window of his pickup truck.
Yeah.
We see these situations happen over and over and over and over again with other persons. But when it comes to a Black man, it just seems like shooting, killing, or harming them is the ultimate goal of whatever the police encounter is. So why aren't these things afforded to Black men? Because it would certainly cost less money, less resources, and less heartbreak.
Right. That's the sad reality, Huggy. And as we,
I saw the video. He was white with a white pickup truck. I said, okay, he got two passes right there.
And a white person telling him, don't you do that.
Yeah, two passes right there. Shit.
And I bet you the windows weren't tinted, and I bet you the license plate, if they had a license plate on there, that there was a problem. Yeah. Okay. Another thing that I want to talk about is the demonstrations that have been taking place in cities around the country, not only in terms of George Floyd, but of course with Dante and his murder last week in Brooklyn Center, as well as Chicago. This murder took place in March. The video was finally released on Thursday. And this has caused a major uproar in the city of Chicago because it was a 13-year-old boy. 13 years old. And Adam Toledo, he was out with an older boy. Older boy allegedly shot at a car. Police were called, and that's when they ran into this older boy, and they chased after Adam Toledo. He allegedly had a gun in his hand, was seen dropping something, and in a split second between the time that he stopped, the police told him to drop his weapon, and the policeman shot him. And this is another case of Black or brown people, and demonstrations are going on. And as a matter of fact, our girl, the Congresswoman Maxine Waters, was in Brooklyn Center over the weekend, Saturday night, as a part of the protest in terms of the murder of Dante Wright. And so, and I'm going to make a jump here, but as we are looking at, today was the last day of the George Floyd case, with the prosecution and the defense making their closing statements. At one point, after they finished their closing arguments, Chauvin's defense attorney asked the judge for a mistrial because of what Maxine Waters said over the weekend.
Wow.
So as people, well, that's what he did say. He said, but perhaps you have a cause for when you appeal this case. And he did admonish U.S. representatives and national politicians for making a case in this, but not admonishing the police like Derek Chauvin, who have done so much to kill so many. But admonishing a woman like Maxine Waters to keep fighting and to fight for justice, in the possibility, as many people believe, the justice that will not be given to George Floyd and his family at the conclusion of this case. There's
This is
so
tough.
much as people, I mean, and this is from coast to coast. Like you may see this in DC or in Maryland or Virginia as every week. I know Philadelphia is one of those cities where every week they're out there protesting against these murders. And this is just indicative of how fed up people are. And now the National Guard have been called out and have been they've been given bigger numbers of National Guard members to call up across the country as they await this verdict.
Wow.
They're halting NBA games.
Yeah, that's the possibility of them
No,
canceling
no
a lot of
capital,
things.
no capital insurrection
Right.
trials, though, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And now they signing all these laws, anti-protesting laws,
Yeah.
across the country.
Yeah, and say hello to the governor of Florida, one of
Right.
those,
DeSantis.
yeah,
Right.
who's just signed off on this, and telling people, we don't care.
And I read somewhere where you can, where was somebody, if somebody hits you, right, you can ride through protesters now and won't be charged.
They killed a woman in Virginia, right?
Yeah,
Heather Heyer
right,
was
right,
killed by
right,
this
right,
racist clown that drove
right.
through the group of
So
people.
he's basically
Now,
giving people a race hit and run pass.
yeah,
It's a racist hit and run pass.
I don't
This
know.
is ridiculous.
It is, Coy, and you would think that in this day and age, and we can't even get gun control laws passed. We can't even get the police to have to take responsibility in the laws for what they have done and the misjustices and the murders that they have committed. And it saddens me, but it's good to know that people are still out there and still fighting the good fight. And at 82 years old, Congresswoman Maxine Waters is out there still giving them hell, and I don't care what she says or does. Kevin McCarthy, sit your little snooty Trump loving behind down.
Shut your ass up.
And thank you, Hug. Because everybody's coming after her. She said, "Come after me," but the
Right,
point is, we're going to keep people marching for justice,
right.
and in the name of good people like John Lewis, we're going to continue to get into the good trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, I can step off my soapbox right now. We don't have a lot of time left, but let us go to Huggy. You are a man of the world, and so I'm going to put to you our question of the day.
Oh
And
shit! Don't put me on the hot seat. What are you talking about? Disney World? What world you talking? What world you speak of?
Of the world, the dating world. Let's just put it like that. And
The world
let
of
me ask
love.
you. Well, I don't know if it's love, but it's dating.
Shit.
We got this from Baller Alert, and they asked about your most awkward date. Huggy, can you think of one?
While he's thinking
And while you're thinking, we got this one. So look at Jack. I went on a first date with a girl I met online back when it wasn't a thing. We were at BBQs and ordered drinks. They asked for ID, and while going through her purse, a girl pulled the gun out of her bag. She said she bought it because, and I quote, "I don't know you, N-word." And
Nigga, I don't know you, nigga.
Has a woman ever just pulled a gun out of her purse because she didn't know you? Pickle.
No, I try to stay away from those neighborhoods. He must was on the wrong website, Sybil. Yeah.
We got another one here. Let's see. The menu said the burger was served medium. He said, "Nah, I wanted large."
What?
And then he proceeded to request
Oh
the
my
large from
God!
the
What
waiter
websites are
anyway.
these people on? Dummies with guns.
Oh my God.
That is the craziest thing.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
so
I hope
funny.
he was joking.
You know what? I don't think so, Coy. I don't think so. Coy, do you have an awkward date story?
I have stories of men that thought they were taking me out on a date and it wasn't.
Okay, you're gonna have to
It was not a
explain at
date.
least one of those. You were just going out with a friend. They thought it was a date.
Yeah, so I was going out with somebody I thought was a good friend, and he thought it was a date. And it ended with him giving me this long speech about how he was in love with me, and he tried to kiss me and asked me to marry him. And I'm like, I have only seen you twice.
Where did you meet him at?
Okay.
Dare I say, Huggy wouldn't believe me if I said it.
Unless it's church, I'm probably not gonna believe
Right.
you.
Same place. A church member at the place of business.
Right. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
No, it was not church.
I can't recognize.
It was called upon by some people, and they said, "Oh Lord," they thought it was church. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You got one? I guess it wasn't awkward. I was just rude. I know, hard to believe, huh?
Shit. You was rude to me for a whole year. I remember that shit. Boy, you didn't know this when I first started working with Tom. I would speak to Sybil every day. Tom and Jay were like, oh, she left. Every time I speak, she's in the restroom.
Every morning, Huggy would come on at 7:35, right? And so that was an opportunity for us to take a bathroom break because
Every day. For a year.
Day. Yeah.
I said she got the worst bladder infection I've ever. The hell?
But this wasn't a date, Coy and Huggy. I mean, what we had wasn't a date, Coy and Huggy. This was I was living in Fort Myers, Florida, and I was dating a pilot. And he took me up to Tampa.
That's that other level. That's that other. See, Sybil, you always had levels, baby. God damn.
Well,
that's the Mile High Club right there. Pilot?
We didn't get there. A pilot. And so we went to the Bears and the Bucks game. And so we were sitting in a section where there were Bears fans, and I was having the time of my life. He got in his feelings because I wasn't paying enough attention to him and talking to the other guys who were Bears fans. And so he stopped talking to me. And
so how did y'all get to? Did y'all fly?
No. So we met because he was flying into Tampa. Okay. I lived in Fort Myers, which was a couple of hours away. So I drove up there.
Right.
And he was going to drive back with me to Fort Myers. So he got mad. He stopped talking to me, and I was like, okay. So I just went to get something to drink.
He couldn't put his anger aside to get you to come back to Fort Myers.
No. And so, he said, I'm so offended, and my feelings are hurt. And I was like, dude, really? And so I said, okay, well, I'll see you later. He said, where are you going? And I said, I'm going home. And so he said, that's what he said. He said, damn, it's like that. And I said, what's the point of our going forward with this if you don't like the fact, or you can't accept the fact, or you're offended?
So you gave him the thing. Fuck you. You a pilot for Value-Jet. You a pilot for Air Trans anyway, motherfucker.
Mr.
Air Trans pilot, motherfucker, it don't count. Air Trans, motherfucker, don't count.
I said, if you can pilot your way around the world, you can find your way home. And I drove away.
Whoa,
Sybil cutthroat.
That's a good line right there. Oh.
I'm gonna use that one, and he ain't even a pilot.
he drives a Honda Pilot.
Yeah, so that was my awkward date story. Yeah. So.
I remember coming from a club with this girl, and I guess it was kind of a date, and we was going back to her house. It was like 1, 2 o'clock, and I'm walking her to her apartment, and I noticed a guy like standing, by her apartment, and motherfucker had like a T-shirt wrapped around like a gangbanger type shit, like this is what the fuck he do. Like, and it was late, and I was like, yo, baby. I was like, yo, heads up, there's a dude over there. I don't want you to get alarmed. Because I had to tell her that because I was fucking scared. So. But I wasn't more scared than her. I was calm. Shit, I know the shit. So anyway, we walking towards her, and I do my head up like this, and I'm checking him out, right? And he did like this, sup? And he was like, yo, the girl name was Tanya. He said, yo, Tanya, can I speak to you? You know this nigga? She said, I'll be a minute. So I'm over the side like this. I'm like, he about to shoot her, motherfucker. I'm like the bitch over the side watching them. I'm looking, they go back and forth, right? So when I left the club, this is what happened. When I left the club, I'm making it real quick. When I left the club, a guy spoke to both of us. He knew me and he knew her, but he knew her ex. So he must have called her. Yeah, he must have called his boy and say, hey, they might be coming
back to her place.
Back to her place. So this motherfucker was out roaming. You can see this motherfucker. Motherfucker was pacing like he was a security guard. Had that shit wrapped around this motherfucker head. I see a little bit of eyes and shit.
Oh my god.
Motherfucker, a sniper or some shit. So it must have scared the girl. She said that was my ex, and I don't think you should come up because he had a key. And so I was like, I'm cool, and I might have went upstairs for like all of 5 minutes because I was like, what the fuck? I'm looking through the windows and shit. Looking if I see a T-shirt and shit. And I was walking back to the car, Sybil. That was the longest fucking walk in my life.
Did you feel like the movie The In-Laws Serpentine?
I was so fucking happy. I made it to the car. I was like, gosh, what the fuck?
Thank God. And did you promise the good Lord never again?
I don't even think I called the girl back again, ever, man. I don't even think I patronize her store anymore.
Good God.
Yeah, that was some shit.
Huggy, that is hilarious.
It's never good when you see somebody with a T-shirt wrapped. I've seen.
I mean, it was wrapped. It was like that was the pre-bonnet days. He wrapped that motherfucker to perfection, like he bought it off an infomercial. That shit was like it had a Velcro snap on the other side or some shit.
There was no use.
It was perfectly wrapped. It was wrapped.
That is so funny. That is hilarious. Okay, you guys, we have had an afternoon and evening of highs and some lows in terms of hearing the story about Tone and Michelle. But we want to thank them again for coming on. One more thing, we do want to leave you on a happy note, as if Huggy's story wasn't funny enough. The WNBA draft took place last week, as we know, and some incredible women drafted into the WNBA. But it wasn't so much the young woman who was drafted, it was about her grandma. Take a look at this.
Jacket, I love it. Thank you so much. Show the jacket. Let's see, I gotta see those sparkles. Show the jacket. Oh, it's perfect. There we go. There we go. There we go. And Grandma's got it. Grandma's got it. Oh, well, thank you so much. So much love to you and your family. Go, Grandma. I can't hear them anymore.
How great. Go, Grandma. Go,
That's
Grandma.
Awesome.
It's your payday.
Awesome.
Go, Grandma. Yeah.
Grandma said, I ain't cooking shit no more.
And that's not my outfit. Are you kidding me?
That was a beautiful outfit, too. That was beautiful.
Nice. That was nice, Grandma. Okay, Huggy, you know it's time for?
Yogi Joe.
Ooh, nice. Today's jewels, like any by any means necessary, eliminate negativity from your life. You know why? Because positivity wins. How's that?
Ooh,
Positivity
Mike,
wins.
positivity wins
Yes,
every time.
positivity wins every time.
Every
Huggy,
time.
thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you. Coy, great
Love
job as
Love you
always.
guys.
Thank you.
And we will leave you tomorrow. J. Anthony Brown returns, and we'll also have our HBCU corner. That will be with Dr. Glenda Glover, and we will talk about the business of HBCUs. And to our boy Chris Paul, good luck.
Yeah.
Good
Good
luck,
luck with
Glenda.
he got his car back, but the shit's still in the car. Tell Miss Glover I say hello.
Absolutely.
And a really, really quick announcement. Earlier when we spoke with Tone and Michelle about their story and how people can help, you actually don't have to be a Los Angeles resident to contact the city attorney and the mayor. Just go ahead and let them know that you are urging them to settle the case to bring justice. And I will be posting a link for that information on my social media.
I'd already started texting my family and them in Los Angeles about contacting their council people. So thank you. And Coy will put that link up. All right, you guys have a good one. Please take a look at this and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
He can tell you about their first dance, but he can't remember my name. I'm his daughter.
Half of all black families are impacted by Alzheimer's, but we don't know why. At HSC, we are investing in a new research study to find solutions for your family. To join the research study, visit blackalzbrainstudy.com or call 817-735-2963.